Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi guys, this is Rick from Provide Media, your digital and print marketing partner. I will be your moderator for today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to visit with us for our Market Like a Pro Webisode series. I hope you guys are safe and your families are well. Today's guest is from Laredo Chamber of Commerce. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with them, they happen to be Laredo's oldest organizations, which recently celebrated their 100th anniversary. They serve as a voice and a resource for over 650 members in various industries ranging from financial institutions and retailers to transportation, logistics, and service providers. The Laredo Chamber of Commerce is accredited by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce with a 5-star accreditation rating. It is a member of the Texas Association of Mexican American Chambers of Commerce, the American Chamber of Commerce Executives, and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The Laredo Chamber of Commerce has been helping local businesses by providing a vision and leadership to develop, encourage, promote, and protect businesses, tourism, industry, and educational interests of Laredo. And here with us today is one of the driving forces of this nonprofit organization, Ms. Miriam Castillo. Miriam Castillo is currently the Vice President of the Laredo Chamber of Commerce and has been working with the Chamber for over 14 years. She has an associate's degree in applied science and master's degree in business administration. Recently, when this global crisis started to affect our local economy, Miriam, along with her team, launched into action and built a website not only for members, but for all local businesses to help navigate them through these uncertain times. So without further ado, welcome, Miriam. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Rick. Thank you so much for the nice introduction. We're very excited to be here with you, and we're looking forward to share important information for all those businesses that are tuning in. As you mentioned, the Chamber has been working nonstop for the last 3 weeks regarding this crisis, and also in getting all of our business community informed on all the opportunities that are out there. We know these are difficult times, and our organization is here to assist our business community. And thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity to share with the business owners some of the ins and outs of the available funding that is out there for small businesses, and also a little bit of the other activities that the Chamber has available for business owners.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, I know you guys are, like you said, you mentioned you guys are super busy with everything going on, and part of the reason why I wanted to reach out to you guys, or I reached out to you guys and talk to you, because I myself also have a lot of clients that we've talked to, and everyone feels a little misguided or a little lost as far as where to go, and the website that you guys built, which again, you guys built it over the weekend. That was like a phenomenal job. That was awesome.
Yes, Rick, the Chamber of Commerce took it upon themselves to put together a website with as much information as possible, just to have a source of information for our business community with compiled information of all the different programs, the latest news, also local media releases, because it's very important that businesses stay informed on the local ordinances that are issued by our government. They're doing the best that they can, and they've been doing a phenomenal job in getting keeping us informed. And we, at the same time, we thought that it was very important that we needed to have a place where business owners could log in and have access to all these resources. So LaredoCovid19.com, I encourage everyone to visit us. It has a lot of information on the financial assistance programs that are available for small businesses, and we'll go over some of the eligibility requirements in a little bit. It has the latest reports issued by the Health Department, by the City of Laredo Health Department. It has also tax information from the Texas Comptroller's Office, and also unemployment guidelines. We know that these are difficult times, so our hope is that this website serves as a tool for small businesses, because that's what the Chamber does. We're like a toolbox. We provide members and the business community with the tools that they need, not only during this time of crisis, but all year long.
No, I agree. And I'm glad you guys did this, because again, I, like most business owners, when everything started to happen, the first thing you think is, yes, is your family safe, and how are we going to do this? But the next thought is, okay, how are we going to stay open? And what are we going to do to pay the employees? And I'm glad that you guys are keeping an up-to-date of all the city ordinances, because I know for a while there, it was pretty much like every day, or at one point it felt like almost every hour, the rules were kind of changing, and it was hard for you to figure out what you were doing. You know, businesses were trying to pivot as soon as the news was coming out. And then again, same thing, there was always misinformation where somebody was telling them this and somebody was telling that. And it's just easier to have one place to go to say, okay, yes, I can remain open, but this is what I need to do to stay open. Because, you know, you still see it every now and then, and you're starting to see it less and less, but you're still walking into businesses if you have to go out there and people aren't wearing masks, and everyone should. And that's something that I don't think has been stressed enough. You know, and it's just, again, that safety precaution for not only yourself, but everyone around you as well. So that's really neat. The tax information is something that's really important, just because around that, I mean, we're almost at April 15th, where everyone was supposed to be filing their taxes. And I know that was pretty worrisome for some people, because you were trying to call the IRS and they were telling you, sorry, we're not available at the moment. We'll get back to you soon. And it had a lot of people, at least I know myself, on edge as far as like, what are you going to do after that? I mean, you know, you have all these financial obligations to meet, and you're it's very hard to do that with the current climate, you know. So that's awesome that you guys have that information in here.
And that was the idea behind it. You know, we wanted to keep the business community informed on the, you know, as you know, the tax deadline was extended. You know, some of those items are very important for the business community to know. And I encourage everyone to visit it. We try to update it almost on a daily basis as new information comes in. One of the particular programs, and also the City of Laredo has a 24/7 hotline. The number is 956-795-4954. I wanted to include this because it's important that everyone has access to this information. This hotline, they can help you with anything from, you know, if you feel that, if you have questions regarding an employee, or if someone has some sort of symptoms or whatnot, I encourage everyone to use the hotline provided by the City of Laredo, 956-795-4954.
That's really neat. Thank you for that.
The stimulus package and what it means for small businesses and nonprofits. One of the programs, the stimulus package, is conformed of two different programs: the EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and the PPP program, the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, we know this can be a little confusing for some businesses. What we're showing now, it's a brief comparison on both programs for small businesses. And these two programs are brought from the Small Business Administration and the stimulus package. And this is pretty much a comparison of both of them. The EIDL loan, the application is strictly through the Small Business Administration website. There are $10 billion available for small businesses. And like I mentioned, they are administered and approved by the Small Business Administration. Now, the Paycheck Protection Program, on the other hand, the monies that are available are almost $350 billion. This particular Paycheck Protection Program, it's only through local lenders. So we encourage all the business owners to contact their bank officers and start inquiring and talking to them about the possibilities of them getting this loan. Now, it's important to note that a lot of this loan can be forgiven by the government if the business is able to prove that the monies are being used to keep their employees, for payroll expenses, benefits, and also rent, utilities. And I think it is very important that our Laredo community, that they start applying for this program, because there's a cap, and as soon as the monies are gone, because this is a nationwide program, there's gonna be many hundred thousands of businesses applying for this program. And of course, we as a chamber, we want to encourage our local businesses to take advantage of it. The more money that we get to our city, to our local business community, the faster the recovery will be for the city. some of the other highlights of this particular program, the PPP, and just so that we can all be on the same page, your left side, that's the EIDL program through the Small Business Administration. The right one is the Paycheck Protection Program through your local financial institution. If we scroll a little bit down, there you go. So like I said, the enrollment for the PPP program, it just launched on Friday. I heard from some of the our bank officers that the response has been quite, outstanding nationwide. And we encourage everyone to start applying with our local banks as soon as possible. So it launched on Friday, April 3rd for small businesses. And then they're gonna start accepting applications for independent contractors and self-employed on April 10th.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know my bank officer reached out to me on Friday morning, which kind of startled me at first, because he reached out to me very early, and I was like, oh my God, what happened? And he was just calling to reach out to me to tell me that, hey, this SBA loan thing is coming out, and he was telling me more information about it, and he was just saying, like, here's an application so that you guys can fill it out and with with some time, and but obviously fast, because like you said, it is nationwide, and a lot of other businesses are applying for it. One of the things that he mentioned was like everyone else, like is saying this, is just be patient with the process, because it is. You're not the only one in line,
Right.
And everyone is I guess, a little uneasy, and maybe, can be a little impatient. So that was the one thing that he mentioned, that here's the application. And that is very, very helpful, because again, it just, it puts your mind at ease about what you need to work on, at least to plan your next move. So that's awesome.
So some of the advice that we also wanted to stress with the business community, the pro tips. We are encouraging all businesses to apply as quickly as you can, because there is a funding cap. I know I've mentioned this already like 3 or 4 times, but it's very important that we send out that message, that the fastest that businesses apply, the more chances there are for our community to get some of that funding. Now, both loans can be applied and granted if the funds are cover different expenses. We have had businesses contact us asking, do I need to apply to only one of them, or can I apply to both of them? The answer is yes. Businesses can apply to both programs. The only difference is if you're gonna, whatever money you use to pay for employees and for your payroll expenses through the EIDL, let's say a business has already been approved for one of the EIDL loans, and 25% of that funding, the business stated that was gonna be used or is gonna be used for payroll. And then when that business applies for the PPP program, that money is gonna be deducted from that other program.
It's kind of like a little bridge loan type.
Yes. So they're going to keep track of all those numbers, but the answer is yes. We encourage everyone to apply for both programs. For the PPP program, almost the entire loan can be forgiven, and it covers expenses for up to 8 weeks for payroll expenses and benefits, and utilities, and some of the any interest on loan mortgages that they might, that they can claim as well. So it's important that they understand that they can apply for both.
That's awesome. That's really good information.
We try to make a very user-friendly website to where businesses and visitors could have easy access to the, let's say, the latest report. On the latest report, we updated with the latest report submitted by the city of Laredo.
Sorry to interrupt you. So if you don't mind me asking you, for anyone that's just, like, I guess, tuning in or starting to come in, if you're on the website now, and obviously everyone's going through this in different stages, right? Everyone is not
Right.
in the same stage. Where would you recommend? Obviously, the loan application is one of the first things you would recommend first on the website. But what would be the next step for any new businesses coming in to visit on your website? After the financial assistance.
So it all depends, because not all businesses are at the same stage, like you mentioned. Most businesses, my recommendation is get informed on the different opportunities that are there, and then based on your business needs, that's where that'll be your step number 2. Okay, so I'm a business that I'm keeping my employees, but I'm having a hard time, paying for payroll for the next 2 paychecks. Okay, so your next step is gonna be to apply for the payroll protection program. Or let's say there's a business that is not quite sure about the latest guidelines or ordinances by the city of Laredo. You visited our website, you clicked on government, and it gives you a list of the latest news from the government. So on Sunday, they issued some results data. And also there's a website where there's a link where they can access the City of Laredo videos and webinars. So it all depends on the stage and on where the business is. One of the elements that we're trying to incorporate is uploading the webinars that the chamber has been providing to the business community. Aside from all of this, as you know, the chamber has a training program with trainings on different aspects. Last 2 weeks ago, we had a webinar on management. So one of the elements that we're trying to incorporate to this website is that, putting together a section where businesses can access some trainings and webinars. The next one that we're working on is on how to manage your employees remotely, with tips and advice on. Yeah, because let's face it, we all need to continue. We're all keeping our organizations, our businesses up and running, and we're trying to adapt to all this technology and everything. So that's also one of that's also one of the ways the chamber is trying to help our business community, providing them the tools.
It is, and sorry to interrupt you. I know that before, like you mentioned, you guys had this training where you guys would have for members and non-members alike, that you guys can go in there and have all these training sessions. And I think after, I forgot how many sessions you got, but it was something around, I think you take like 12 different sessions, and if you do like 8 of them, you get like a certification. And that, I've always thought that was really neat. You can go at new time. And I noticed that last week, like you mentioned, you're now doing these webinars about this time. So same thing, if you're tuning in, I recommend you going and visiting those. They are available at the website. Is that correct? Is that what you're?
We're in the process of incorporating those videos into our website so that people can have access to them. But yeah, definitely, because we think that's important. It's important that our members continue to adapting to the new way of doing business. We want to stress and we want to encourage businesses to not be afraid of adapting to the technology that is available out there. It's very neat to see that a lot of small businesses are relying on these new platforms, and maybe before they didn't used to have an online application, to place orders online, and now businesses are offering that to their customers. So I guess that's one of the advices that we give the business community. Reach out to us if you have any questions as to how to implement new innovative ideas and keep your business running, because we're here for you. We're all in this together. And like our hashtag says, we're stronger together. If the chamber knows what the needs of our business community, the needs that they have, the better understanding that we're gonna have on what we need to provide and what we need to put together. There's also a survey that we put out there for the businesses, because we really want to know and from the businesses, we want to know what are the areas that you're having more issues with. Obviously the financial assistance, but that's something that can be widely covered on our website. It has all the information on the financial assistance that is available out there. But what are other elements that are affecting your business? Maybe you're not having enough access to employees, or maybe, some of your providers are not being able to fulfill your orders, and all of those issues are things that are affecting a business, and we want to learn about that because that gives us the tools that we need to put together the resources that we can provide to the business community. I'll send you the link. Hopefully those that are joining us today can help us in gather all this information, because that's really key for us to learn the areas that we need to focus on for our business community.
Absolutely, yeah, and like you said, it is super important. That's something that I definitely want to again applaud you guys for doing, because you guys have reached out to the community, like you said, and you really can't. It's hard to help people without knowing what's going on. So that survey is crucial for you guys to understand, like I said, like, what's going on, what you guys need help with. Besides, the financial part, there are other things that are going to come up. Like you mentioned, touched on it earlier, I know I've reached out to different clients because of online ordering, and the clients that were on the fence about it before, are definitely now leaning towards it because they need that extra channel or the extra revenue source, because, the phone or the cell phones are just not enough, so they definitely need that extra revenue source. And that's something that's definitely helped. And the other one that you mentioned was the apps and the tools and the technology people are going to be using. I know myself personally have been using Zoom on a daily basis, at least 3-4 times a day, with either clients for training or to meet with them or to consult with them or whatever it may be, for webinars, but that's pretty much, I know, our favorite tool that we've been utilizing a lot, Zoom. Aside from that, we have been managing, we've had other things in place like Slack and Teams, to use things for remotely, to be able to manage our team, because not everybody can work here at the moment. We do have a digital team, but again, they can't. It's just safer for everyone to stay at home. So
Right.
definitely it helps to have that communication and access to them. You can only get. I love the teleconferencing part, because again, you can only do so much with the phone. You definitely need that face-to-face interaction, even if you're a 1 inch big. But still, you definitely need it. You can tell someone's reaction when you ask them what what they think about something, as opposed to just listening to their voice. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are taking those steps to do that. That's really, really cool.
And you touched base on something very important, and it's one of the tips that we want to share with our members as well. Right now, it's the perfect time to start contacting your customers, your vendors. A couple of weeks ago, I received a phone call from you, and and I remember you called me. I'm just calling to see how you guys are doing. Because you, as a member of the chamber, and we as one of your customers, and I think I shared this with you. It meant a lot to receive a phone call from someone just asking how we were doing, if there's anything that we might need help with, and I thought that was pretty neat. And I thought, this is something that maybe businesses can implement as well. Give a phone call to your customers. It goes a long way. And we thank you for that, Rick. That definitely inspires a lot of us, because it's nice to receive a phone call from one of your vendors or one of your customers at the same time, and it's really staying connected in that sense.
It is, and thank you for that. I mean, like I mentioned, that when we started doing that, it wasn't anything to try to sell anything or anything like that. It was literally, I know during that first week, it was not really the time to start selling or even pitching anything. My biggest, I guess, concern was, are you okay? And how are you doing? Because of a lot of different reasons. Everyone can take it very differently. Some people can brush off their bags, which is, not everyone can do that. And other people can roll with the punches, and other people can close themselves off, and it was important. We felt that it was important, not only myself, but some of my staff as well started calling the customers that they were closer to exactly do it like you mentioned. Just, how are you? We're not selling you anything. Just, how are you? How are you doing? How can we help you? Whatever it may be, even if it was just to say hello and keep going. What I mean? It's super important right now, we think, is to the way you said, stronger together and staying positive more than anything.
Yes.
You know, there's so much negativity out there before, and now it's just amplified with everything that's going on. So it's just super important to try to stay positive during the situation, because you know it's just better.
Yes, no, definitely stay positive and connected. I think that really empowers others to keep going, and a lot of good things can come up from that initial connection that you made during this times, you know, uncertain times. I remember when you and I talked, you know, you mentioned, you know, thank you for all the communications and all the information that you've been sending to all the chamber members. It's been very helpful. And I have had in the back of my head, like for a week or so, you know, we need to consolidate all this information. So from the phone call that you made when you and I spoke, I thought, you know what, we need to do this. So if anything, you know, this website that we created, a lot of it had to do with, yes, you know, we need to do this ASAP. And from that conversation that you and I had, you know, when we were talking about all the different emails that the chamber was sending and all the good info and everything, you know, this came up. So a lot of good things can come up when you start talking to your customers, even your employees, you know,
Yeah.
when you start talking to them. One of the things that I recommend for all of you that are working from home offices, if you have employees that are working from home, one of the advices that I'm giving to some of my colleagues and committee members is, you know, talk to your employees, you know, every 2-3 days, you know, maybe every Monday. Like we at the chamber, we used to have weekly staff meetings every Monday. So we try to keep that schedule going, you know, even though some of us are working from home and some of us are coming to the office, we're working with a skeleton crew here at the office. We still connect, you know, let's say every Monday at 9. You know, we try not to change a lot the way we used to conduct business, but now it's in a different way, you know, and that helps employees you know, you keep them engaged, you know, you exchange ideas, and a lot of good things come up when you keep that communication and that contact going with employees and customers.
Absolutely. I know during this self-quarantine or this quarantine times that we have, it's super important not only to stay positive, but to also keep a routine. You know, keep a routine, like you said, you know, and I'm glad that you guys are still having your meetings, just like you said, in a different way, remotely, but you're still having those meetings so that you're just not doing whatever it is you're doing at home. I know certain people can some people are enjoying it, other people are not. You know, it just really depends on what type of person you are, right? But again, it's important to keep that routine of constant communication. So that's awesome that you guys are still doing that.
It is important, you know, and now there's a lot of webinars available. We try to keep our members informed on all the webinars and training sessions that are out there. I think it's also great that for those that are working from home, take advantage of all these webinars because they're very informational and it's an easy way to stay up to date on all the new regulations and guidelines. For those of you that are not members and are not receiving our communications, we still try to some way or another post that information on our social media. But yeah, you know, we need to take advantage of all the resources that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually you asked me, you're alluding to the next question I was going to ask you. So I know that obviously the Laredo Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit, and your operations are basically by the fundraisers and / memberships that we provide, and that's how you guys are operating. And I wanted to tell people out there that just because you're not a member doesn't mean you cannot reach out and look at those free resources. I have talked to several people last week, and they were telling me like, oh, well, you have to be a member to get their information. I was like, no, you don't. It's available for free. I mean, just don't get me wrong. There are a lot of perks to being a member. You know, the things that, like, you know, the other free stuff that you guys get with the webinars and mixers when everything, you know, gets better. and trainings and things like that. But there's a lot of information right now that is absolutely free to the community. Again, that's super important that I need to stress out there for anybody watching, that you can look at these things. And while we're on that subject, if you don't mind me asking, to be a member, I know me personally, I've been a member for over 10 years. And it's been really great. But for anybody that's not looking in, I know that I get this a lot. And it's like, well, what does a chamber do for you? You know, what do they do? And do they really work? And I remember before joining the chamber, I used to feel the same way because I didn't know enough about it. You know, but once I joined the chamber and I started going to the network, to the mixers, and started, you know, talking to everybody, it made me feel a whole lot better knowing there's a community out there like myself that have very similar interests, you know, trying to better the community and service your customers and, you know, all that fun stuff. So what advice, or not what advice, but how would someone reach out to you guys if they wanted to become a member?
Thank you, Rick. Yes, and you know, there's a lot of misconception with chambers of commerce, you know, and not only here, everywhere in the nation. A lot of people, you know, are under the impression that the chamber, that we're either part of the city or that we receive, you know, that we're funded by a government agency, and we're not. We're a private nonprofit organization. We serve our members. We have over 650 members that we represent. And I think that's the key benefit that I can tell you that chamber members get with their membership. You know, the chamber serves as the voice and the representation of our business community, of our members. When I used to be the member relations coordinator, I used to tell prospective members, you know, the chamber is like a membership to the gym, you know. If you only pay your dues and if you're not involved and if you don't take advantage of the seminars that we offer, the events, networking events that we provide to our members, because of our members and because of their investment in the chamber, we're able to provide you with benefits such as this website that we're talking about. You know, it's because of the investment and the trust that you put in the chamber that we have the resources to put together this type of tools, you know, for our members and for the business community. And yes, I mean, I guess what I can tell you is the more you stay involved with us, the more you stay in touch with us, the more you use the services and the tools that we have, the more benefits that you're gonna see out of your membership. And it's like I say, you know, if I pay a membership to the gym and I rarely go, and you know, I just paid for an entire year, which I gotta admit I'm guilty sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna see anything out of the gym. You know, I'm gonna be like, well, you know, I'm still, you know, I'm not seeing any benefits from the gym. Well, how many times did you go to the gym, and how many times did you go to their sessions, and how many? So it's pretty much the same. You know, it's a membership that you belong to an organization.
I agree. I completely agree. People always, when they ask me, like, you know, does it work? And, you know, what do you get out of it? And I always tell them, honestly, you get what you put in, you know, just like anything else. You get what you put in. You know, if you're not going to the website, if you're not talking to the chamber, if you're not talking to the other members, then you're going to feel like it's not worth anything, you know. But if you start looking at those emails that you're getting and filling out surveys and looking at all those resources that you guys have, those webinars and the training tools, there's a lot of stuff. I know last year, I'm trying to remember last year's courses that you guys had. There was stuff on training and OSHA regulations, even on social media and digital marketing. I mean, you guys have a very, you definitely run the gamut on what a business needs to do to operate. And that's something that, again, another perk of being a member. So that's awesome.
And yes, you know, because our goal is to maintain our chamber members and you know, have a healthier business community. And part of it is we need to constantly provide our members with seminars and trainings. Like you mentioned, last year we had a series of 8 trainings. All of our trainings are free for chamber members. There's no limit as to the number of employees that they can register. You know, we have had companies that send 5 or 6 employees to some of our seminars. And we have, and there's a lot of work behind putting together these programs. Our committee gives a lot of thought on the topics that we're gonna present every year. You know, last year we conducted a survey, and based on that, we felt that marketing, management, human resources, and labor law was very important for our members. So those are 4 of the 8 that we provided to our members, because the more that our members are informed and the more that they are trained, the healthier of a business that they can become, and what's good for the business community, it's good for the chamber and it's good for the city. So yeah, that's definitely one of our main goals, aside from the many other programs and benefits that we offer. It's keeping our business community and the workforce trained, and informed and up to date on the new laws and regulations and taxation and all of that. So yeah, I think the 2 words that I would say when you ask about, well, what does the chamber, or what does it mean for me to be a chamber member, is representation and belonging. The chamber represents your best interests, and you belong to an organization that it's going to have your best interest look for.
No, I agree. And again, it's super important that you guys stay engaged with the chamber. So I encourage you guys, if you're not a member, reach out to them and see how you can get involved.
One of the other things as well is that, there's a lot of behind the scenes, or a lot of activities that the chamber performs on behalf of our city and on behalf of our business community at the national and state level. Our president, Mr. Conchas, he serves in the transportation committee at the national level with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Our chamber is also part of the CCC 100 at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which is a group of only 100 chambers of commerce in the nation. And they meet, every year. So a lot of the advocacy that is done for our business community, it can go unnoticed, but that's what the chamber does as well. We represent our business community at the local, state, and national level. And that's important for our businesses. At the national level, there are things that are looked at in the terms of infrastructure, funding, regulations, things that can affect our business community. Just to know that there's a chamber that's representing your business, that's one of the biggest benefits, I should say.
So yeah, I think that's really awesome that you guys are again, it's not just a local thing, but you guys are actually going to Washington and meeting with with our U.S. representatives to talk about business, to further Laredo and our mission, of course, business and just general. That's really, really neat that you guys are doing this.
Yes.
And like you said, it's definitely behind the scenes. People don't really hear about it, but it is important because it is happening.
On the educational side as well, the Youth Leadership Laredo program, it's a program sponsored by the Laredo Chamber of Commerce. And every year, through this program, students in at the high school level, they receive more than $15,000 in scholarships,
Wow.
To different federal students. And of course, this is, there's a lot of hard work that the committee members put together to be able to raise these funds. But that's also a program that we're very proud of, because, giving those scholarships, I think it's important for the chamber, because the leaders of tomorrow, it's a good program for them. And that's something that also, we get that a lot, so what do you give to the community? That's one of the programs that we can proudly say, that's sponsored by the chamber with the help and support of hardworking committee members. And $15,000 in scholarships is definitely something that it's, worth mentioning.
Absolutely. There is a lot of scholarships you can give out and give other people opportunities that weren't there before. So that's excellent. Perfect. So Ms. Miriam, if you don't mind me asking you, I know restaurants have been one of the ones that were first affected and affected the most. And I know you guys have been you guys developed this restaurant guide for people to see what's going on and what they're doing. Can you tell me more about this?
Sure. Since day one, when we heard about the stay at home and the restrictions that some businesses were going to start to put in place regarding social distancing and whatnot, the chamber, since day one, we put together a restaurant guide of all of the restaurant members that belong to our organization, identifying which hours of operation, the services that they were offering, whether they were just offering carry-out, delivery, free delivery, or just curbside. It's one of the first initiatives that the chamber took on with all this emergency crisis. And, you know, that's just one of the things that the chamber was able to put together in support of our members.
This is awesome. I mean, and you're right. It is super important with everything changing so often that people don't know. I mean, people definitely are at home, number one, are probably getting a little tired of eating the home cooked meals and maybe want to get something else and want to support local businesses. And the perfect place to do that, to support your local business, your favorite eatery.
Yeah, so we wanted to put together a guide with all the members that were open for business and adapting to the new way of delivering their products and services. We added their menu and, you know, in some instances, a link to their app, and just, you know, trying to be proactive and trying to come up with ways on how we could support our members.
Absolutely. And for people that they're just watching, where can they get this PDF or where can they access this?
We more than anything, we posted it on our social media platforms. You know, we just wanted for it to be widely available on social media. We had a very good response. A lot of people, you know, sharing the document. As you can see, since we needed to have something ASAP, it's just a simple PDF file with a link. So this is available on our social media page.
That's excellent. No, thank you for this. Well, Ms. Miriam, thank you so much for spending some time to talk with us. And again, if you guys want to get a chance, I encourage you guys to go to the website. There is LaredoChamber.com, and there's also LaredoCovid19.com that's available for free for everyone to look at, for all business owners and entrepreneurs, and take a look at those websites, check out those resources. So I wanted to end with this. This new reality or new normal of social distancing has limited us in ways we never thought of. But we've also been more connected in a lot of ways because this is global and everyone is dealing with it. There's also many levels to what people are going through, depending on where they are and what the situation is. Hopefully you're in a position to take some time and learn the new skill or appreciate things a little more before life got busy. Stay positive, you've got this.